Hi all, this is a rapid sum up of all the standards there for inter-auditing syllabus. Okay, it's a very rapid sum up wherein I'll just say essay number, essay name, and the clue words, how to identify in the exam, and also the link. So let's proceed. And yeah, this material I'm using from my book. So come on, let's proceed. It's a very rapid sum up. So I'm going in the order of series. First, I will go with 200 series essay, then 300, 400 series, then 500 series, then 600 series, and finally 700 series. Okay. So starting with the first series, which is that essay 200 to 299. What is essay 200 to 299? It mainly deals with general principles and basic responsibilities of auditor. First essay is essay 200. What is the name of essay 200? Overall objectives of independent auditor and conduct of audit in accordance with standards on auditing. Now, when will you think of this essay in the exam hall? First and foremost, when a question comes with respect to objective of auditing. Second, nature of auditing. Then, inherent limitations of audit, scope of audit. Now, inherent limitation, just recalling 5 points are there. Nature of audit procedure, nature of financial reporting, audit is not an investigation, timeliness of financial reporting, and you cannot predict the future. Future's uncertainty. Now, there are two sentences which you might miss, so I'm just adding. There is a sentence in inherent limitations of audit. Matter of difficulty, cost involved, and time is not a valid reason or valid basis to omit an audit procedure for which there is no alternative. So, matter of difficulty, cost, time involved is not a valid basis to omit an audit procedure for which there is no alternative. Then, another very important phrase audit evidence is persuasive and not conclusive. So, audit evidence is persuasive rather than conclusive. So, that's essay 200 for you. Now, next essay 210. What is 210 here? Agreeing on the terms of engagement. When will you think of this essay? When you hear the terms of engagement, agreement, engagement letter, preconditions. How many preconditions are there? 2 plus 3 plus 3. Those have attended, they'll know. Then engagement letter, acceptance of audit. So essay 210 in the exam hall, when you think about the word terms, agreement, preconditions, engagement letter, acceptance of audit. Now this essay is related, linked with essay 300. Where in essay 300? This is there in preliminary engagement activities. Now, going to the next standard. Essay 220. What is 220? Quality control for an audit of FS. Now, this has to be linked with the SQC. This has to be linked with the SQC one. See, SA 220 is at engagement level, whereas SQC is at the firm level. So that's SA 220. Now, when will you think of SA 220? When you hear the words integrity of the client, ethical requirements, acceptance and continuation, monitoring team's performance. Don't forget, in case of listed entity, there should be a person called as EQCR. Who's EQCR? Engagement Quality Control Reviewer. Now, there are 6 elements for quality control. We see it in a flow: acceptance of client, assignment of team, ethical requirements, leadership, monitor, team's performance. Link, as I told you, SQC1. So that's SA 220. Now, 230. What is 230 here? Audit documentation. When will you think of audit documentation? When you hear the words working paper, the record, audit documentation is a record of audit procedures, audit evidence, and audit conclusion. It should be assembled on a timely basis when you read it with SQC within 60 days of completion. It has to be retained for 7 years and it's only an administration process. Now, there are two types Broadly, audit documentation can be either audit file called as an audit completion memoranda summary file. What is the link with SQC1? See, SQC1 says audit documentation, engagement documentation, etc. Not only that, if a firm is not maintaining audit documentation, what will happen? Quality of the firm is weak. So that's SA 230. Now going to SA 260. What is 260? Upar wala, communication with the whom? Upar. Those who are charged with governance, above management. So when we do communicate with TCWG, significant matters, you will communicate. Now this essay is linked with two other essay. One is essay 701. A. What is 701? CAM. You select key audit matter from essay 260. Not only that, in essay 700, in auditor's responsibility para, we say we have communicated with the TCWG, significant matter, etc. So that's 260. Now, next essay is essay 265. That is also communicating, but not significant matters, deficiencies in internal control with both management and TCWG. So if it is any matter, then it is 260. If it is specifically internal control matters, then it is SA 265. So when will you think of SA 265? When you hear IC deficiency, significant deficiency, material weakness, and communicate with management TCWG. Now, this essay is linked with the test of control. You have to perform test of control. Then only you can identify deficiencies in internal control. Then it is also linked with the SA 260. Why? Both are communicate. One more very important point. See this one. 143(3) clause I of Companies Act. So, duty to state in report whether companies having internal control in place properly, operating, etc. So that's the link. Finally, we have essay. Which one? That's right. Essay 299, which is nothing but joint auditor financial statements. When will you think of this essay? When you have more than one auditor. How is it linked with 706? Whenever there is a disagreement among the joint auditors, they should give a separate report. So in the separate report, they will add other matter paragraph. So to sum up, essay 200 in one word, objective, 210, terms, 220, QC, quality control, 230, documentation, 260, communication, 265, communicating deficiencies in IC, and 299, joint audit. Now, essay 240 is fraud, and essay 250 is non-compliance of law and regulations. For the inter, we don't have in detail as such these two standards. It's there for the CA final. So 200, 210, 220, 230, 260, 265, and 290. With that, we are winding up with series. Yeah, 200 to 290. Now, let's proceed to next series. Yes. Which is the next series? 300 to 499. Like 200 to 299 is gender principles and responsibilities. 300 to 499 is planning and risk assessment. Planning and risk assessment. Now, first one in that 300 to 499 series, first one is SA 300. What is SA 300? Planning and audit of FS. When will you think of this essay? When you hear the words preliminary engagement activity, strategy, planning. Timetable should be established for strategy, nature, timing, and extent of resources, NTE, nature, timing, and extent of audit procedure. Preliminary engagement activity has 3 points. Three. Acceptance, ethical requirement, terms. Strategy, you establish scope, direction, timing. Planning, to conduct the audit in an effective, efficient, timely manner. Resources is established in strategy, wrapper, SAP, further procedures, and other procedures in planning. So, strategy, resources, planning, procedures. Now, this is linked. SA 300 is linked with SA 210. Why? As a part of preliminary activity, you have to see acceptance of client, ethical requirement 220, plus give the engagement letter terms 210. So, these two standards are part of the preliminary engagement activity. Yeah, preliminary engagement activity is a part of beginning. No, 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 no. Come on, life is a race. Run, 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 run. Next one. Essay 315. Identifying and assessing the risk of material misstatement through understanding the entity and its environment. Here, basically, we do risk assessment by checking internal control. So, what procedure you do? RAP, risk assessment procedure. RAP has four techniques: inquiry, observation, inspection, and analytical procedure. Now, audit risk is IR, inherent risk into control risk into DR. Actually, DR, detection risk. So, this is also part of SA 200 audit risk. So, that is a link. Audit risk is basically linked with 200. Then 330. Why 330 here? Because in 315 you assess risk by performing risk assessment. 330 you respond by performing SAT. Now why 530 guys? See, sampling is 530. Detection risk has sampling risk, non-sampling risk. So sampling risk is part of 530. So this is a rapid sum up. So let's proceed. Next, Essay 320. What? Materiality in planning and performing audit. See, in planning phase, you will determine the materiality. Performing, you may revise the materiality. See, materiality benchmark. There are five factors affecting. Lower than materiality, you fix an amount lower than materiality. That is called as performance materiality and revision of materiality. Materiality, we always use the word individually or in aggregate. Now, it is also linked with SA 450. Why? Materiality is always there in evaluation also. AS1 says accounting policy, materiality you consider when selecting policy, and there is also linked with Schedule 3. What is Schedule 3 in Materiality 320? They say na revenue or expense which exceed 1% or 1 lakh, it should be separately disclosed. And shareholders holding more than 5% separately disclosed. Next, come on, 330. What is 330? Auditors' responses to assess risk. So risk assessment is part of 315, responses 330. So here we perform RAP in 315, RAP, risk assessment procedure. Here you perform further audit procedure, FAP. Further audit procedure is test of controls and SAP. Why are you performing further audit procedure? To reduce the risk to an acceptable low level. So this is linked with SA 315. Why? 315 you assess risk, C30 you respond. And 500 also says about TOC and SAP. SAP is further divided into test of details and substantive analytical procedure. Test of details is further divided into test of transaction, test of balances. All these are there in 500 also. Essay. Finally, Essay 450. Array, where is 450 here? What is Essay 450 all about? Evaluation of misstatement identified during audit. Here they say very good examples of misstatement: capital expenditure treated as revenue expenditure, accounting policy not properly selected, accounting estimate inaccurate, etc. Four forms. It can be in presentation, amount, valuation, or classification disclosure. See, here there are two types of misstatement: identified misstatement, uncorrected. Now, uncorrected misstatement, you will modify your report as per Essay 705. 315 is also related by 315 risk assessment. Here, that misstatements you will evaluate. So to conclude, 300 to 499 series, 300 in one word, planning, 315 risk assessment, 320 materiality, 330 responses, 450 evaluation, and there is one more essay which is applicable for final only, which is essay 402. Uh, User entity, service organization. That's it. With that, we are winding 300 to 499 series, which is planning and risk assessment 300, 315, 320, 330, and 450. 402 is user entity service organization. Okay. Now coming to the hero series, the biggest series, which is 500 to 599. Come on, 500 to 599 is audit evidence. Like 200 series is principles and responsibility, 300 499 is planning and risk assessment, 500 to 599 series is audit evidence. First essay, 500. See, basically 500 is evidence. So we can call this as general evidence. Why? Other essays are specific. Now, this essay says auditor should obtain sufficient and appropriate evidence. Then we talk about audit procedures, those seven technique, inquiry, inspection, observation, analytical procedures, external confirmation, recalculation, reperformance. Then this essay talks about using the work of management expert. Then assertions in account balance, class of transaction, disclosure. And this essay also talks about inconsistencies in evidence. If you come across, you should modify your procedure. Why? To resolve. Okay. Now going to the next essay, 501. As we said, 500 is general evidence. 501 is specific evidence. Now, 501, audit evidence. Specific consideration for three selected items. What are the three items here? Inventory, litigation and claim, segment reporting. These are the three selected items. What is the specific consideration? In inventory, existence and condition. In litigation, completeness. In segment reporting, presentation and disclosure. Now, why all these standards are here and Caro? Link. This column is for linking. See, inventory AS2 and Caro clause 2. So if it is valuation of inventory, it is AS. Reporting requirement means Caro. Procedure evidence is SA 501. AS29. Why AS29 here, guys? I'm talking about AS29. See? Why AS29? Because of litigation and claim, it will be disclosed as contingent liability. And also, clause 7 of CARO, which talks about litigation and claim, statutory dues. And AS29 is litigation and claims. So, contingent liability, and AS17 is regarding the segment reporting. That is 501, audit evidence specific consideration for selected item. Now, can we move to the next one? Come on. Yeah, which is essay 505, external confirmation. External confirmation, when will you think? Third party response. There are two types, positive and negative confirmation, and also we can further go for blank request. There are certain words which we hear in this essay. Difference between requested and provided is called as exception. Non-response from the confirming party, third party, or response may be unreliable. And this is basically linked with essay 500. Why 500? In 500, there are 7 techniques. One technique is external confirmation. Next. Initial audit engagement, opening balance. Initial audit engagement means either prior period is unaudited or it is audited by predecessor auditor. Two cases. Now here, when will you think in the exam? when you hear these words, opening balance, closing period, prior period. Now, your objective is to point out what are the 2 points in your objective? Whether opening balance is materially misstated, policies are consistently applied. 510 is related with essay, 710, comparative information. Now, going to essay, next one, 520. What is 520? Analytical procedures. So, what is analytical procedure? Basically, comparison to identify the plausible relationship. There are four techniques for analytical: ratio, trend, reasonableness, structural modeling. Comparison are of five types. Okay, like prior period with current period, industry comparison, financial with non-financial, management expectation, auditor's expectation. This is also linked with SA 315. How? Risk assessment procedure has four techniques now: inquiry, inspection, observation, and analytical. Analytical. The analytical procedure is also there in risk assessment 315. No. Continue. Essay 530 sampling. Sample. So we are talking about the population from which we will select the sample. What is AM, CM, PM? Anomalous misstatement, common misstatement, projected misstatement. We are talking about tolerable and tolerable rate of deviation. So there's a formula, na? AM plus PM, anomalous misstatement plus projected should not exceed the tolerable. So basically two approaches, statistical, non-statistical, five methods: random, systematic, haphazard, block. Which one did I miss? Monetary. Okay. Now, 15. Um, in between, there is an essay called as Essay 540, which is there in CA final, which talks about the accounting estimates. Oh, 550. 550 is dealing with the related parties. When will you think of this essay? Significant influence, significant control, common control. Like subsidiary, associate, joint venture, all are related party for holding company. Now, common control, one exemption is there, government. Those entities under control of government are not related parties. Then, what are the late AS 18? What is AS 18? Disclosure of related party. Then, CARO, there are four clauses of CARO which deals with related party. First one, clause number 3, loans, advances, investment guarantee security, LAIGS. Then clause 4, compliance of 185, 186, loan to directors. Clause 13, transactions with related party, and clause 15, non-cash transaction with specified persons. So these clauses of CARO are linked with the related party. Then essay 560, subsequent events, events occurring after FS date of FS. It can be two types, existing or arose. So this is linked with the AS4 and also SA 570. Why 570? Usually those events which arose you should disclose. However, if going concern is affected, it should be adjusted. So, yeah. Now coming to the going concern essay. Going concern 570. Here we are talking about three types of events and condition: financial, operational, others. NUSDGEC, what is that? Material uncertainty, significant doubt, ongoing concern. As an auditor, we are concerned with obtaining sufficient and appropriate evidence regarding appropriateness of going concern. Link. As per AS1, going concern consistency approval is a fundamental accounting assumption. CARO clause number 19 deals with going concern, and in SA 700, you have 14 elements. In that, fifth element is going concern. Finally, 500 series last essay, 580, written representation. So it's a written statement from management TCWG as appropriate. It is not a substitute, only a corroborative evidence. This is linked with essay 210. Array, how? In 210, we state preconditions. Now, FS should be prepared, information to be provided. Same thing they provided written representation. So to sum up, 500 evidence general, 501 specific, 505 external confirmation, 510 opening balance of initial, 520 comparison analytical, 530 sampling, 550 related party, 560 subsequent events, 570 going concern, and to support all the evidence which you collected from here to here, you will obtain a written representation. So 500, 501, 505, 510, 520, 530, 550, 560, 570, 580. And 540 is talking about accounting estimates, including fair value accounting estimates and related disclosures. No. Come on, continue, guys. Now going to essay 600 to 699. Using the work of others. Now, yeah, essay 600. Using the work of another auditor. See, another auditor means usually in case of five components. What are the five components? Subsidiary, associate, joint venture, division, branches. There, principal auditor using the work of another auditor or other auditor. Now, component includes branch. Branch 143 subsection 8. See, why essay 230? Principal auditor can access the uh, records of component, but not the records of another auditor. Record means working paper, because working paper are the property of the concerned auditor. So principal auditor can access component record, but not component auditor's working paper. Working paper essay 230. Now next, essay 610. Using the work of internal auditor. Here you are called as principal auditor. In essay 610, you are called as the external auditor using the work of internal audit function. For what? Two purpose. Either to obtain audit evidence as a partial substitution or to seek the direct assistance. So internal auditor mainly verifies internal control, risk management, governance. He verifies financial, operational and compliance of laws and regulation. Now this is linked with CARO clause 14. What is CARO clause 14? The internal audit. Now one more essay is there, which is essay 620, which is there in CA final, using the work of auditor's expert. Somewhere you heard now. See, in essay 500, it says management expert. In essay 620, auditor using the work of auditor's expert. To sum up, 600 to 699 series is using the work of others. 600, you are called as principal auditor, you are using the work of another auditor. 610, you are called as external auditor, using the work of internal auditor. 620, auditor, using the work of this auditor's expert. 600, 610, 620. Come on, da. 200 responsibility, 300 you did planning risk assessment, 500 you obtain evidence, 600 you use the work of others because we could not obtain evidence ourselves. Now, array, give the report, na. 700 to 799 deals with auditor's conclusion and reporting. So, essay 700, forming an opinion, reporting on FS. So, in this essay, what is your objective? To form an opinion, give a report by evaluating evidence, uncorrected misstatement, specific evaluation. 700 unmodified opinion. It can be either fair presentation framework, compliance presentation framework, and audit report basically has 14 elements. Title, addressing, opinion, basis, material uncertainty, key audit matter, other information, 720. Lost the flows. Then management responsibility, auditor's responsibility, its location, other legal requirements, signature, place, date. 14. This is related with 570. Why? The fifth element in audit report is going concern. Now, next essay. 701. Communicating key audit matter in independent auditor's report. CAM. Most significant matter selected from significant matter communicated to TCWG in SA 260. CAM is mandatory for listed entity audit. See, material misstatement will come in 705. Risk of material misstatement will come in 701 CAM. Accounting estimates having uncertainty, events or transaction. How it is related with 260? A. From TCWG matter, only you select most significant and report as CAM. Now going to essay 705. Array, what is 705? You are using your weapon la. What weapon? You are going to modify the opinion. Modification to opinion in independent auditor's report. When will you modify? Either when there are material misstatement or unavailability of evidence, where you evaluate pervasiveness and materiality. So basically, opinion is essay 700. Here you are just modifying the report. So two cases you modify circumstance, material misstatement, unavailability after evaluating materiality and pervasiveness. So basically, you amend whenever there is a qualified adverse disclaimer, you amend the opinion and basis for. Now going to next essay. Come on, 706. Emphasis of matter para and other matter para in the independent auditor's report. Two paragraph EOMP, OMP. Why? To invite attention of users. You are going to communicate additional matters in audit report. If it is a matter in FS presented and disclosed properly, EOMP. Other than those in FS, OMP. Now basically it is related with essay 700 contents. Where UMP will come above CAM, below basis. OMP below CAM. So this essay is linked in essay 299 joint audit. Whenever there's a disagreement in joint audit, other matter para, then you hear in essay 560 subsequent events. And also one more, 710 also says about other matter para. Okay. Now next 710 comparative information, corresponding figures and comparative effects. So these are the two approach. When will you think when you hear the prior period where it is either unaudited or predecessor auditor? See, same thing we said in 510. Whenever there is an unaudited prior period or predecessor auditor, you will add other matter para. If there's a difference of opinion, then also you will say in other matter para the predecessor auditor's name, date, and his opinion. So basically, comparative information means amounts and disclosures of prior period. In first approach, your opinion is only on current period, except in two cases. Second approach, comparative effects, your opinion is on each period. Are you clear? And finally, going to SQC1. What is SQC1? Quality control for firms that perform audit, review of historical financial information and other related services. Now, this is linked with essay 220. 220 is at the what level? The engagement level. This is at firm level. Again, when will you think? When you think about integrity, ethical requirement, acceptance, monitoring, teams competency, these are the six elements basically. If there is a listed entity, engagement, quality control, reviewer. In that very important point, if there is a differences of opinion among engagement partner and engagement quality control reviewer, what will you do? Difference of opinion means it will be resolved as per firm's policies and procedure. If it is difficult and contentious matter, then consultation. So basically, SA 220 is at the audit level, engagement level. This is SQC is at firm level. Now here leader is Chief Executive Officer, Managing Director. So SQC is applicable for all the audit, review, assurance. See, all the 30 standard which we said here is for audit. Now, to summarize, there is one more essay which is essay 720, which is there for final, which is other information, something included in annual report. So, guys, 700 series, 700 opinion unmodified, 701 CAM, 705 modification, 706 UMP OMP, 710 is comparative information, 720 is other info. Whatever audit, review, assurance related SQC is applicable. For audit, you have essay starting from essay 200 to 899 series. 800 series also has 3 essay, 800, 805, 810. Then for review, SRE, two SRE is there. SRE 2400, 2410. Then assurance, you have SAE 3400, 3402, 3420. Related services SRS 4400 and 4410. Whatever engagement you do, you have to follow SQC. So that's it, guys. This was a rapid summary of. um, Actually, it's applicable for both inter and final. So basically, inter has 30 standards and final has 46 standards as of now. So if this video was helpful, please put a message in the comment box. And that's it. Keep going. All the best.